Okay. Okay.
Are you counting 5, 4, like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stand by. 10 seconds. It's fun. Nobody moves. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi, this is Mike Feinstein. Welcome back to Ripe for Change. In studio this afternoon, we're here with Linda Martin from the Green Party of Hawaii. Linda Martin ran one of the most significant third-party or emerging party campaigns in U.S. history this past November. She ran for the United States Senate in Hawaii, and she took on one of the major players in the Senate, Senator Daniel Inouye. Linda came in between 13 and 14%. She got over 50,000 votes, and this was the highest vote total for a legislative office for any third-party candidate since Teddy Roosevelt in the early part of this century. Linda, as a former resident of Southern California, welcome back to California.
Thank you, Mike.
Linda, so you ran for U.S. Senate. You've been an activist for many years. Why did you end up going into electoral pursuits? Why did you run for office, and how did that come out of your activist past?
Well, 20 years of movement politics and being on the forefront of both the managed growth wars in San Diego and a lot of community-based efforts to bring affordable housing both to Southern California and to Hawaii convinced me that we're really not going to make any significant changes until we have green-thinking people in policy-making positions and rather high-level policy-making positions. That's especially true in Hawaii, where we're a tiny little state, and so many of the decisions that drive the local economy are made in Washington, D.C. Very few people realize that or think that through. But the major pork barrel kinds of decisions that come down from Washington, and particularly from Senator Dan Inouye's participation, are exactly the dynamics that drive the cost of living there in Hawaii. And I wanted to emphasize that.
And some of those issues are what did you focus on?
We have a very, very large military presence there in Hawaii. We have mostly federal projects coming into the state, lots of federal dollars coming into the state that brings in a lot of out-of-state workers, but doesn't really expand the economy for the local people. It drives up the cost of housing for people. It drives up the cost of basic commodities. Our cost of living there is 38% higher than it is anywhere on the mainland. So what we've really done is created a very expensive cost of living for local people.
And Greens have been known as trying to promote a community-based economics.
Right, right.
So you see the policy.
A diversified economy, and one that will permit local youngsters who grow up there to actually stay there after college, because 40% of them now have to leave and go to the mainland to find either affordable housing or a job that pays a decent wage, or both.
So this is a different agenda than, say, the Democratic Party, which I understand is a one-party state in Hawaii than they pursued. How is your campaign different in the way you conducted it, not only in terms of the issues, but in the way you conducted your campaign?
Well, there was the major difference, of course, is that Senator Inouye had almost $3 million to spend on his campaign. He bought approximately 6 hours of prime time for an infomercial that he spent a lot of money on. I had a very grassroots-oriented, community-based campaign. I spent about $7,500 for the 50,000 votes.
So that's about 15 cents per vote. How much did Inouye spend per vote then?
About $15 a vote. Yeah, that was a significant difference. Also, I was really pushing for some kind of a debate or some kind of public forum where we could come face to face and talk about the issues that are important to the people in Hawaii, and I never once got him on a stage where
he wouldn't confront you.
He would not come out. And in fact, because he refused, the second party, the Republican Party candidate, refused to come out as well. So we were never actually all in the same arena at the same time.
How did the press view that? Did that itself make publicity? Were they willing to publicize the fact that the system was stacked against you?
We actually did a press release and a press conference on that very issue. And we did get some coverage. Primarily we got coverage on the neighbor islands, not on Oahu on that basis. The public television station was excellent and went ahead and staged a debate with just the Libertarian candidate and myself, which was rather wonderful, and I really appreciated that. Also, the cable organization did a great thing for us and gave us each a 9-minute presentation that was played throughout the campaign, and that was excellent. But for the most part, we had no broadcast presence, no media presence, other than what we were able to generate as news.
So that certainly speaks for campaign reform.
Certainly does. Yeah.
Well, even though there are Green parties in government in over 50 countries in the world, obviously it's very difficult to be seen as credible if you can't get on the media. Did the media start to view your campaign as credible? And if so, what did you do? Did you have interviews with newspaper editors? How did you make a leap? I mean, you got 13+%. How did you make that leap?
One of the best examples of what we need to do in future campaigns was the fact that we kept pushing the media. We just didn't accept the fact that they were marginalized.
You wouldn't be marginalized.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't accept that. And finally, one of the major dailies, there are two major dailies in Honolulu, one of the major dailies came forward and agreed to have an editorial board with us. When I say us, it was me and also the other co-chair of the Green Party, Ira Roeder. And we went in and spent what was initially to have been a 30-minute interview, and we ended up spending almost 2 hours with the editorial board and walked out with a very different feeling about them, and they felt very differently about us. And it resulted in a wonderful editorial article about us and has resulted in good coverage since that time.
As a female candidate, how did your candidacy advance women's issues, citizen empowerment, and why is it important to vote for a Green woman, say, than a Democrat or a Republican woman?
Well, not only Green women, but Green candidates in general and Green elected officials are really committed to change. I note the name of this program is Ripe for Change. And I think that that's what we epitomize. We're not going to go in and tinker with the system. We know that that hasn't worked. It hasn't worked for 20 years or more. We feel that we need some truly structural change in the way decisions are made and the way communities participate in those decisions.
So you felt your campaign was a victory for citizen empowerment?
Oh, for sure, yes. And it was also a successful experiment in third-party politics in Hawaii. Because we were able to garner more than 10% of the vote, we are now on the ballot for 1994. We do not have to go out with our petitions and stand in front of grocery stores and beg people to sign our petition and let us back on there.
You do feel the Green Party has broadened the political spectrum in Hawaii, and you'll be a player in the future?
Definitely.
Well, Linda, thanks very much for being with us, and thanks for visiting us here in Southern California. We wish you the best of luck back in Hawaii.
Thank you, Mike.
And we're going to go to a break now. This is Ripe for Change. Please come back and join us for more.
That was great. That was just great.
Was it really?
It looked great. You guys were excellent. Yeah, that was wonderful.